Hello everyone, this is my week 9 discussion board post. I chose to answer question number 1, what threats to internal validity were controlled for and which threats were not. I'll start with what threats I felt were controlled. The first of which is instrumentation. I felt by giving very similar pre-test and post-test, obviously not changing the way they were collecting data from beginning to end helped obviously with validity internal validity in terms of instrumentation. I also felt maturation was well handled according to the Davis text. Excuse me. Maturation refers to a respondent's attitudes, behaviors, and physiology change during an experiment. Obviously, by giving a pretest on the flight there and then a post-test on the flight back, they kind of caught these individuals when they're still excited about it, they're still interested, they're still engaged in the experiment or the class. So it kind of caught them when when the trip was at the top of their mind as far as awareness is concerned. I also felt mortality was well received. According to the text, mortality threats rise and respondents drop out of a study. Obviously, it's very hard to drop out of a study when it's a class and it's overseas, so that was a great way to handle that issue. And then also history. When history kind of refers to outside interactions and things that happen that could affect a study. Obviously, it's kind of hard to control some of those factors, especially if any of these students had any free time, but I felt that the study was well organized, and the class was well organized, where the students had organized activities that they all had equal opportunity to take part in. So I felt that was a great way to kind of control the history potential of causing causing troubles with internal validity. The threats that I didn't feel were as well controlled as far as this study. I mean, obviously every study has the potential. First, of course, is pre-measurement and interaction. Anytime you bring up a topic before the experiment takes place, you might have trouble with skewing data by giving a pretest that kind of alluded to ethnocentrism and stuff like that. It kind of goes into this testing section as well. Obviously, when they're thought to think like that, potentially that could potentially affect the post-test and the results, because that has been brought to their top of mind awareness in these initial interactions and testings, and as a result, their responses might be skewed because they know what to expect, they know what you're asking. And finally, selection. This was also brought up in the case, excuse me, how these students were obviously engaged and were interested in going overseas. It might have been different if there would have been students who weren't interested. So they say, as the case stated, you might have wanted to do a control group that wasn't going to see if there was a change or any significant change in the data. Obviously, there was a significant change according to the case, but that might have skewed data a little bit as well, because these students were already open to different cultures and ways of thinking. So those were just kind of my thoughts on the case that we read. If you have any questions, concerns, or feedback, please feel free to leave me a comment on the discussion board. Thanks for watching, and everyone, I hope you have a good week.